Hello everyone, and thanks for tuning into the Financial Investor channel. My name is Brent, and today we're going to be talking about the market on Thursday. So I just made a video. I made it way too long. I hit the 20-minute mark, so we're going to try and make this much shorter. I got a brand new headset on now, and let me know if it's a lot clearer or if you can't really tell in the comments below. So let's go ahead and discuss the week of this week and then Thursday. So last week, Friday, I posted a picture of looking ahead. This was off Bloomberg. So the main events that I was looking for that I believed would impact our portfolios the most would be Wednesday with the Fed rate decision. So Mr. Powell, which we already knew was going to raise interest rates, raised them by 25 points. And that was completely fine. And then the market actually moved up while he was talking about, just the regular things. One of the indexes I was tracking went up to $170. And then the reporters started asking him some questions about wage growth, where he sees the wage going, why hasn't it grown? And he kind of talked about where wages haven't exactly headed where he believed they should be at. He also asked him about tariffs. How do they feel about continuing to raise interest rates with tariffs being involved right now? And he said, tariffs have nothing to do with the Federal Reserve. We have our job. The president has his, and people, I believe they asked him with President Trump, like the political drama that's going on with him, and he says, despite the president, whoever's in power, has nothing to do with what the Fed rates, the Fed's decisions and such, and some other questions along those lines. And the market, one of the stocks I was watching, I sold off at the top because I believed after the Fed chairman would talk, that stock would fall. So the stock I was following went from around 170. I sold around 168. And it fell all the way down into 165, kind of hung out there for a while. I made a purchase of 165, and then continued to fall to 164, 163. I made a purchase at 163, and it continued to fall a little bit more and then stopped. And then in the after hours, going into Thursday, the futures were very much negative on the futures. The financials were down, the semiconductors were down, the technology was down in the after hours. So I knew Thursday opening up, it was going to be a mess. So that's exactly what happened. The semiconductors, the financials were down in the market on Thursday, made it very hard right off the bat. You knew the market was not going to recover at all today. So looking at the futures right now, it looks like Friday we're going to be opening up negative again. I'm not sure. The government shutdown, as far as the government shutdown goes, that's Friday. I actually took a look at this already, read through the articles. They've already passed the bill for a $1.3 trillion spending bill. This is going to add around $1 trillion in debt to the overall here. So if we click on one of these articles, it's supposed to be one of these here I had read. It's supposed to be adding some $1 trillion in just debt to our already debtful nation. But it's fine. You gotta, it's just like making money. In order to make money, you have to have some debt. So adding about $1 trillion in national debt. So hopefully, I'd really like the money to be well spent, but I know it will not be. I'm not in favor of President Trump doing his whole military march, being a service member, or in the past myself, I don't believe in the spending. It's $30 million that he wants to go and have his parade when that money should be used for veterans and such, and they're already trying to hammer down on veteran benefits. And although I know a lot of my friends that are going to VA and have got out of the military and trying to go through all that, that's a huge mess, but I'm not trying to get all into that. So Congress passed a bill to avoid a government shutdown. Now over at Finviz here, this is something I like to take a look at here. This gives me a very visual very visual look at the markets today. Instead of using my Merrill Edge account or my, any one of my accounts, if I hop on Robinhood, I can look at the S&P 500, I can look at the Dow Jones. This gives me a very clean look at technology, services, basic materials, financials, consumer goods, etc. So here everything red besides utilities. And real estate investment trusts were also positive today. So if you held some utilities in your portfolio, if you held some real estate investment trusts in your portfolio, those were actually positive today. Those were the only green stocks in my portfolio today. So 3 out of my several, 5 or 6, 7 stocks that I hold were actually, positive today, which was nice, but I still lost thousands. And that's, you don't ever lose money until you sell, and as long as you hold it. So you've only lost some equity right now. So across the board, everything red. Now, China did even worse, the Asian market. So here, this is the world map right here. Canada, lots of red, a little bit underneath the U.S. markets. I like to take a look at what's going on right now in the markets is tariff talks. That's what caused this whole thing. President Trump bringing up tariffs and how he wants to, put some pressure on China over there. So I don't think this should have happened. We know what President Trump was trying to bring up and discuss. We knew tariffs were coming, so this whole discussion that he's trying to put some pressure on China in order to get some negotiations started, this just needs to happen. They need to sit down and discuss this and talk about what they want to do, because we're having all sorts of inconsistency in the markets, all sorts of stocks, Caterpillar, and a few others out there are getting hammered because tariffs keep getting brought up every 2 or 3 days. Every single week they're getting brought up for the last 2 or 3 weeks now, and that's causing these markets to just go, it gets unsettled. So this could be a good time. I know a lot of my friends, they sold off around 40-50% of their shares that were green, and now they're sitting on 40-50% of their cash right now. I would like to do that, but I can't right now. I don't believe I have 1 stock that's still in the green, or 2 stocks that's still in the green. The rest of them right now are kind of in the negative, so I'll have to wait on the recovery of those ones and just kind of continue to average down. And I think over the next few weeks, or in the next couple of days, we should see some sort of recovery, if not in the few weeks, because tariffs just need to kind of get negotiated out. And financials took a huge turn today. So one of the other things I like to take a look at on FinViz, if you head over to finviz.com, you actually can't see it. I don't have that as part of my screen shared, but if you click on the left hand side here, you can see ETFs, and then this kind of shows you across the world. Here are the main US ETFs, the S&P 500, S&P 500, Dow Jones, and the NASDAQ. Over here you have your international stuff, so you can see the European markets were right around in line with the US markets. China's markets, they actually got hammered a little bit harder, so their large cap went down by almost 4 points. Their iShares, I believe this is probably something very similar to their S&P 500. I don't follow the international China markets very often here, but they went down by 5 points and all across there. So interesting stuff there. Yeah, they're bears, of course. Their bear ETFs were positive, similar to the inverse ETFs over here. Oh, whoa, this went up very, very, very nicely. Anyways, let's see here. What is next? We discussed government shutdown. I expected Wednesday to have the biggest impact. Boy, was I wrong. Friday was the biggest impact. We took a look a little bit here at the after hours. Some of the stocks that's currently moving after hours in the negative are nothing important here as far as I can see. I like to take a look at financials. I like to look for technology stocks that are semiconductors. So Micron Technology, that could be one to kind of look at. I know a lot of investors over at the Financial Education channel follow MU. Now, another one I like to take a look at is Market Watch. So here, some of the most active in the after hours. Again, we have Bank of America. That's a banking financial company. Aflac, sort of, insurance financials, I believe. First Data Corp, JP Morgan. We have US Bank Corp, Financial Group. So there's some negative right there kind of going on. So, going into Friday, we're going to see the markets already start off in the negative. So it's going to take the financials, the semiconductors to kind of bring the market back up in the green. I really hope we're able to end this week at a green note. We won't end it positive. We're going to have another negative week. We're not going to be able to recover this, 3% loss that we've have had over the week now. If we take a look at the markets here for the week, S&P 500, Dow Jones, and the NASDAQ. We're back in the negative for the year. So S&P 500 down a point over in the negative now, down over nearly 4 points in the week. Dow Jones again negative 4 points for the week, down 3 points for the year. NASDAQ, they were up at 9% for the year to date. Now they're only up nearly 4%. 5-day change, they lost half of their, yeah, it's crazy. They lost 4.21% over the last 5 days. I was a NASDAQ holder for the last 2 or 3 weeks now, and it had done very nice. It had recovered my portfolio. Unfortunately, the last 2 weeks have actually bled out my account, all my gains that I had made over the last month or so. Just, it's funny. But funny but not funny, right? So here we are, markets today, Dow Jones. We've already discussed some of this. So some of the other news on here. World markets roiled by rising fears of the U.S.-China trade war. So 6 minutes ago, I really enjoy reading the Merrill Edge. I can log on here every night, take a look at what's recent here. So, of course, we already know the tariffs right now. That's making these markets kind of go haywire because they really need to just sit down, negotiate it out, throw some punches, Let's see what else is kind of going on here. Oil prices rise. Yeah, we know oil prices rising. It's almost $3 over here, if not more. California, their gas prices shot up huge. I know here in Oregon they're almost near $3. I know somebody had mentioned that. Let's see, Aussie fell. Yeah, it's fine. Let's see here. Yeah, mainly just Asian markets kind of being discussed here. So the S&P 500 movers, Edison International, yes, that's one of my stocks right there, And AbbVie down 13%. One of their cancer-related treatments had some negative results or didn't show positive results. That caused their stock to tank by nearly 13 points. I know some investors over on the dividend groups that I follow over on Facebook. They're jumping on this one. They're, hey, I just bought $10,000 in AbbVie. Anybody else jumping on this deal? So a lot of other investors are jumping on these deals. I've watched and seen. They post pictures of all their little dealios here. So sector-wise, you can't really see a lot of the sectors. We already kind of went over the sectors. That was over here at FinViz. We took a look at the S&P 500. You could see all the sectors were red besides utilities and real estate investment trusts. And let's see here. What else can we look at? Foreign markets, not too worried. We already know everything's kind of red. So let's take a look at what the market update is. So this is all, let me go ahead and zoom in. If you guys would like, you guys can just go ahead and pause the video. And I'm going to go ahead and just take a look at some of the, the main highlights here. So of course we know stock markets tumbled on Thursday, extending its week to date decline to 3.9%. So yeah, we're down in the market now, down for the year on the NASDAQ and the S&P, or the S&P 500 at Dow Jones. Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, the CEO of Facebook, actually came out and discussed how he is going to be fixing, and he apologized and what his plan of action is to resolve and kind of going forward what he wants to work on so it doesn't happen again, that data leak that took place. So again, President Trump this decision to impose tariffs on up to $60 billion on Chinese imports. So that's actually what drove the market down right there. The biggest headline catalyst is President Trump's decision to impose tariffs of up to $60 billion on Chinese imports. So yeah, that's exactly what it was. And he officially signed a presidential memorandum on Thursday afternoon. However, the decision wasn't a surprise. So it wasn't a surprise. This had been known for several weeks now that he was going to be implementing this. And it was first reported that the president's desire is to punish China for its intellectual property theft via tariffs last week. So we already knew this was going to happen. The markets went down last week due to this news. And now this is just sort of it's implemented and kind of going on here. So selling picked up notably in the final hour of the session. Yeah, even into the after hours, my stocks kind of fell even more, which we already knew. Yep, so financial sector, they fell, dropping by 3.7%. This is actually much more than the market itself. So people are dipping out of the financial sector, which is actually kind of scary because that means that there's undecisiveness in the actual, the economics of the country itself. I think financials are very important for the S&P 500 and the indexes in the market in general. When the financials start to drop more than the indexes themselves, that's kind of, people are starting to get a little bit worried, I believe. And again, influential sector, information technology. So financials and technology are some of the biggest sectors and stocks within the S&P 500. So if they're not doing well, the market's not going to be doing well. So hopefully the market picks back up Friday. Hopefully we have the financials and the technology on our end, and we will gain our tech sector worst performing component, tumbling 7.3. I don't know what Accenture is, but that's 7.3%. It's not too bad loss. AbbVie, we already talked about. Cancer treatment didn't show. Yeah, here it is. Drug maker provided a disappointing update on their experimental cancer drug. So yeah, that caused it to kind of go down. The healthcare sector, utilities did go up, benefiting from the decline in treasury yields. Yeah, treasury yields went down. More people are moving over to bonds, and that's pretty much it. So on Friday, investors will receive 2 economic reports: durable goods orders on February, briefing consensus 1.5, and new home sales for February, 620,000, which will be released at 8:30 a.m. So that's it for this video. What are we at? 16 minutes. Okay, not too bad. Not a 25-minute video like my last one was. So that's it for this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you guys, if you learn anything new, hopefully I was able to cover and kind of take a look at, what were we expecting going into this week? What did the markets do today? What are the futures looking like right now? Friday we're going to open up in the negative. Are we going to continue to stay in the negative? Hopefully the financials, get their act together along with the technology stocks, and hopefully we'll have a green day tomorrow. That's what I'd like. So again, I want to thank everyone for watching until this point. If you did like the video, hit the like button below. Remember to subscribe for future financial videos. Give me some thumbs up if you hit the like button. And if you have any questions about anything that was covered today, go ahead and let me know in the comments below, and I will respond to you. If you have questions on any of the websites today, took a look at today, let me know. As a friendly disclaimer, I am not a financial advisor or tax professional. The information provided is my opinion for entertainment and fun. This is not investment advice. This is just me as a financial investor trying to help others make their money work for them, and just taking a look at the market in general. So a lot of times you guys don't have access to these research tabs that I use over at Merrill Edge, or you don't know of certain websites that other investors use. You guys may have some other websites that you use to get your news. If you do, let me know in the comments below. I'm always looking to read more information. So that is it for this video. If you guys are interested in listening to what my plan is going into real estate, let me know in the comments below if you'd like a video on that. But I have my whole plan written out, have my LLC made, what I want to do within my LLC, and then what kind of loans I want to have on myself, because you can't get loans inside an LLC. It'd be very difficult. Anyways, going away from that, so that's it for this video. Thank you guys for tuning in. I will see you next time. Have a great day. Bye.